Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Not shaven. Guess who's back? Jeff is black. This rhymes whack. All right, so episode 59. This is the Option Podcast along with Evan Cory. I am Jason DeBias, your host with the most, and we're gonna shoot the nonsense about volleyball tonight, man. You just came from practice, right?
Yeah, I was just coaching tonight.
Cool. Do you have a night lights?
Yeah, so everything in New Orleans is just complexes, so everywhere's got lights. It's great.
It's got to be the best place in the world to play beach volleyball right now amidst our right.
I mean, there's no restrictions for us. We don't have any time restrictions. The complexes are all open, so I mean, there's definitely no complaints. We got tournaments every weekend if we want, so no complaints on this end over here.
Let me tell you something. I am down with freedom and freedom. don't know who you're voting for in November, but I'm down with freedom. In fact, I got an issue, man. I'm kind of in the middle. I like my guns and my gay people. In fact,
Yeah, I mean, I think that
go ahead.
that's a lot of people right now, right? I mean, I feel like a lot of people feel like they're stuck in a rock and a hard place because they agree with a bunch of stuff on both ends, and they feel like that neither side really is fully representing what they believe.
Let me tell you something, son. This ain't the full solution, but this is a good beginning. I believe in my gays and my guns. In fact, our solution is we're going to arm gay people everywhere. I want you to picture it. Picture Brandon Clemens with no shirt on a big billboard, six-pack abs, holding an AR-15, and he tells the world, only you can prevent a hate crime. I know what Ben Vought's thinking. Get your own damn man. And this is how we start, right? This is like 3 minutes in. So you said, are your facilities mixed outdoor and indoor? Are some of them indoor?
Not really. We don't really have any indoor really. Just because I mean, New Orleans, we're pretty similar to Florida's climate, so we're not really cold any part of the year, so we don't have any need for an indoor court really. There's one indoor beach court in Louisiana. So
cool, man. Did you go to Myrtle Beach?
I did not. I played in Nashville at the Hayden Beach one this weekend.
Yeah, man. Kevin Knight actually conveyed a lot of good coverage. I think their YouTube site actually presented the semis and finals, and I knew of Kevin vaguely, but he can ball.
Yeah, Kevin's good.
I saw him in Manhattan Beach last year, and he got hurt like somewhere in the second round, and then that third round he had Levin Prima, I mean, that's not the match you want to come into hobbling, right? That's not. I mean, that's
Especially
a match.
not the way that he plays. He's a super physical guy.
Yeah, right. He looks like, to me, he looks like he has one speed. I was there. I was coaching both Robs, Diorora and Rob McLean, and I got dropped by Jake and Earl because they had Arturo, but trust me, I had other things to do. And two coaches and one, at the same time. That's not, that's awkward. That's just like, that's weird. It feels creepy, So you played threes the week before, right?
Yeah, I played the doubles and the triples in grass.
Who's Avery? Who's Avery? Which Avery are we talking about? It was you, Avery, and someone else, right?
Oh, Avery Aylesworth. So he played libero at Loyola. He's from NorCal. And then I played with Gage Worsley as well.
Okay. And you made semis?
Yeah, we lost to Taylor, Eric, and Andy.
That's pretty, wow. Taylor's probably finally playing with people his own age.
Yeah.
So you've done a really diligent job of live streaming every weekend that you've played, which pretty much means every weekend.
Every weekend. It's been every weekend since like the first weekend of May.
Good for you. Good for you. So conditioning wise, have you found a way to condition your body where you're going into these tournaments where you jump and you like your approach and everything you have is like a cruise control? In other words, are you operating out of like 80 or 90% and not taxing yourself? Or are you going balls out and can't feel your legs the next morning?
So, I mean, it kind of depends on the match, I guess. I can kind of you get the brackets and stuff the night before. You can kind of see who you're supposed to match up against, who you are supposed to play throughout the day. Obviously, it changes. You have to make adjustments, but especially in the first couple games of the day, I'll try and go like 80 to 90% and really just not really like cruise control, but just not full speed throughout the entire day, because if not, I mean, as a 6'4" blocker, my legs are just going to give out in a final. And
Right.
I think that's always what my mentality is always, I'm going to make the final. I need to win the final.
Yeah.
So
So
I
you have
need
like a
to
path in
pace
your head.
myself. So whenever I do get to the final, I'm going to have the energy to win.
Yeah, man. And well, that's the more unique thing, right? Okay, you're good. You're live streaming your matches. A lot of people do that. What the hell, what the hell makes you different from them? Glad you asked. For the people listening at home, what makes him different from them is every time there's a finals, it's you beating someone or you losing to someone. So you kind of cracked the code on a formula to navigating your way through these tournaments, albeit pool play or double elimination. And you mentioned that you get the schedule ahead of time, and you have kind of a foreshadowing of who you can play. Does that have a lot to do with your success?
I wouldn't necessarily say like the foreshadowing is all about the success. I think it's a lot of like the preparation I put in the week before and like the months that I have like all throughout the summer is really where like the successes come in. I think it does help though, in order of like pace and like, because you have to think of a tournament. A tournament's not a sprint. I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of people do, like especially like younger players, really like view tournaments as a sprint and they go out all the time. And that's a great way to play. I'm not bashing that, but I do think you have to start looking at tournaments. I mean, like in Cincinnati, we didn't lose a single match and we had to play 7 matches. That's a marathon.
That's
Like 48
yeah.
teams. That's like knock them out, drag them out fights that you just have to crawl through, and at times it's gonna be long, and so you have to be prepared for those long days. The tournament started at 8 a.m. and didn't finish till 2 a.m. So I mean that's a 16-hour day of volleyball.
Yeah.
If you're considering that a sprint, there's no chance that you're making it to that final. You
No,
have to consider it a marathon.
that'd have to be a hell of a sprint, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm doing a share on my page. This is on NY Varsity Sports Live right now, but I wanted to do a share on my page and see if this will kick it to Instagram. I'm just trying something new, and if I fail, that's all right too. Um, yeah, so you're right. It's the same thing as like the bigger tournaments, right? If you're gonna make the main draw, and if you have aspirations of making the semis or finals or whatever, you have to realize that you right. The qualifier is Thursday.
Yeah, and I think that's like even the guys that are in the main draw. There's a reason that people say there's a Sunday fill that comes out. There's a different gear that kicks in later in that tournament that he knows that he has to save for
Yep.
that Sunday. And
Well,
the
I think
reason,
they're also. I think also Friday and Saturday, Phil knows he only has to play 3 times too.
that's a good point.
I mean, how's that for formula, right? How's that for cracking the code, right?
Yeah,
You just kind of show up, you chill in your tent, maybe take some pictures with some tiny little people,
yeah.
um, which is where you're kind of headed right now.
Mhm.
So, who'd you have the most fun playing with the last couple of
I mean,
weeks?
it probably would be in that Cincinnati tournament. I mean, JD's my boy.
Hamilton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
grew up with him. Like, I mean, I can't say anything else good about him. I mean,
Is he a Louisiana product?
so he's from Mobile, Alabama, actually, but we all kind of practice out in Louisiana and stuff like that. He actually moved down to St. Petersburg this year, so he's getting some good ball down in South Florida now. So it's really good for him.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, I like grew up with that dude. We basically before I even like freaking hit puberty, I was playing with him. I was short and fat. It's actually really funny. Like you can go back in like some of these pictures, and we're like split blocking at that time, and then people are like, "There's no way ever that you would think of JD and Evan and think that they were split blocking."
Do I need to find pictures? Are you
It's
gonna make
okay.
me look?
I'm totally okay with you not finding me.
Cool. So JD's kind of a hybrid, right? He could He could play full-time D or split or
He's definitely a full-time defender, but at that time in our lives,
you guys coming
he
up. Yeah.
knew that there was no way that I could be a full-time blocker because I was like 5'7", 5'8", and I was not jumping like the way I do now.
Cool, man. So, Evan, someone as one-dimensional as you. This is why I got you on the podcast. Last time we were on the podcast, we talked a lot about volleyball. We talked about your college career. Very emotional moment, getting shut down because everything you worked 3 years led to this moment, and that was kind of crushing. But we ain't gonna talk about a whole lot of volleyball. It's late, as you can see. My night lights are up, and I made you sound like this one-dimensional person, and a lot about your lifestyle kind of proves me right, because every time I see you, you're balling. So something we didn't mention in the last podcast is you're a big time sneaker collector.
Yeah.
You're into them kicks. Show me the new kicks, man. I gotta see them. Let's show the audience.
You got the new Jordan 4s, the PSGs. Just got them in yesterday, actually.
Oh.
So if anybody is a big Jordan person,
eat your heart out.
Yep.
Yeah, tell them that. Eat your heart out. Cool. I bought a pair of LeBron James sneakers. Now I have a closet full of sneakers, and a lot of them are new. You got volleyball shoes. I got the Mizuno, like the low cut high tops, and they're aight. I always find out for indoor that I like basketball sneakers better than I do volleyball sneakers, and it's because when volleyball sneakers first came out, sneakers just for volleyball, they were really good. But then they, just like a clothing line, just like sneakers, when they keep manufacturing, they make the material cheaper because they know people are going to buy the brand. And then, you slip your feet in some sneakers that don't feel the same. You feel like you got betrayed.
Yeah.
So, but the brand of sneakers that never betrayed me were basketball shoes. So I bought a pair of LeBron James from 2013. Still got them. Beat the hell out of them. I mean, in my defense, I haven't played indoor that much since I moved to California, but yeah, man, still got those things. And I got brand new Mizunos, volleyball sneakers. Haven't even worn them yet. I got some Pumas, some cross trainers, like the bright green, the neon green ones.
Yeah.
I actually got from Bloomingdale's, which is where you should never shop, but you get a gift card. Yeah, you get a gift card. You buy an expensive sneakers you could get for like, 2/3 the price. So just like you, I got a closet full of sneakers. But dude, living out here, man, I traded the jeans and boots for board shorts and flip flops. So and that's
like, get rid of those Tims.
That's our lives. Yeah, I got Tims, brand new Tims, dude. I use them for hiking. I use them for hiking, and now they look like yellow. They're like how like brown Tims look. You go on a hike. All that dirt, and then they look like yellow. It looks like a brand new pair of Tims still, except it's a different color. Yeah, man. So, what are you? Are you a jeans and boots guy?
No, I'm a sweats and sneakers guy.
Sweats and sneakers guy.
Yeah, and cool, probably most likely, like you said, board shorts and flip flops most of the time now. But I mean, winter comes around, not really here, but if winter comes around, it's definitely not. I'm not a big jeans person. I like my sweats. I like to stay a little comfy.
Yeah. I talked to Sean yesterday. Ledig.
Yeah.
That's my dude, man.
He's awesome. He does great things, especially for Louisiana. Not a super well-known area for volleyball. He is such a good spokesman for us. He does a really good job of promoting everything from juniors to adults so well.
Well, I talked to Sean because I got this Hush Hush project going out, and I can't say a lot about it, but I can say this. It does involve us as individuals watching 16 different games from 16 different countries. So, well, maybe like 3 in the United States, but let's just say I got to hook up with Ghana. I got to hook up with Japan. I got to hook up, California, and I didn't have a hookup in your region. And I was like, wait, I got this cat, Evan Cory, man, and it's tournaments every weekend. And Sean was my connect. So the person that's heading it up, her name is Patricia DiMaggio. She's in her 60s, but she played at Tulane. She's well traveled, and I'm gonna introduce you to her too. It's a meeting of the minds. She's just trying to, how should I say, reacquaint people in her area because she was this former D1 diva. AVP never really seated higher than fifth, but I mean, that's a good problem to have,
I
right?
would say
So
a lot of people would love to have that problem.
yeah, man, right? Good problem, dude. So Ladig, um, are you were a Bayou Boys? Did you play club
Yeah,
at
I
Bayou
was
Boys?
I was a member of the Bio Boys.
Yeah. How many teams do they have?
Uh, Now they've probably got 4 or 5 teams in like different age groups. But whenever I was there, I think we had 2 or 3, and we're freaking mismatching age groups like nobody's business. I mean, we had 16-year-olds playing 18-year-olds. We had to play like 15-year-olds and have like little 10-year-olds playing on a 15-year-old team. So it was definitely a lot of just trying to find a way to get boys volleyball down here.
No, no doubt. Yeah, because it's at the time and even now, female dominated, right? I mean, think about
Yep.
it, and now it's become an NCAA beach sport. It's, I think we're working diligently to make sure it's not the end of men's volleyball as we know it, right? I mean, bad enough for indoor, right? For the people listening at home, indoor volleyball only offers a maximum of 4.5 scholarships for Division One. D2 they have like kind of like a 2-year thing going that a lot of people do like partial for 4.
Yeah.
My boy Mike Salek out of New York, he went to LIU, Southampton. I don't even think they have a campus anymore, but that's how he did it. Luis Mendez set for Bameso. I think he did 2 in Concordia and 2 at Queens College. So I'm not sure of the legality of that, but back in the day, Division three sports was the most under the radar, ignored thing ever.
It's probably like
You had guys
NAIA
playing for 7 years, dude.
That's like NAIA now.
Yeah.
And then that one's crazy because you got like 30-year-old dudes coming in, like they got like a family and everything, and they are just freaking. They got
Yep.
a whole family out in a different country, and they're here getting a college education playing volleyball.
Yeah, man. My boy Seydou, Ghana, West Africa, played for Cal Baptist, which at the time was NAIA before their NCAA, and then his first year was at Park, a university you might be aware of.
Yeah,
He won with Park, and then won the next 3 with Cal Baptist. So he went in all 4 years he played. And he's trying to play beach for his country. I think the Africa Games are coming up, and I think whoever wins the Africa Games is an automatic bid. I think for the because that's one of the ways. That's one of the ways to get into the Olympics. You can win like your
like
continental, like a continental championship. So, on another note, did you watch the NBA Finals?
of course.
How you feel? Talk to me about it. What'd you get out of the finals?
I mean, I'm gonna go out on a statement here. I know I love LeBron James. I think he's like one of the best players to ever play. I can't say he is the best. I'm still a Jordan person, especially after watching The Last Dance this year.
Yeah.
I think Jordan's mentality puts him above LeBron. He's a little different. He's a different breed there, but I think LeBron's probably still one of just like most physical specimens just freaking ever walk the earth. That dude is something else. Like he's changed like the way you probably have to think about an athlete, because there's no way you can be, what is he, 37 now?
30. Yeah, he's 30. He's gonna be 36.
36. All right, and so he's still doing the things that he's doing. Like he's making like dudes that are in their athletic primes in their 20s, like making look like they're not athletic. It's crazy.
And he plays like he doesn't have a contract. He plays like he's playing for a contract. It's like, dude, you already got your money. Slow down, So, I'm with you. Co-sign with you. I'm a Jordan guy. The documentary notwithstanding, I grew up a lifelong Knicks fan.
Mm-hmm.
So the path to the championship when I became a basketball fan was between Detroit. Celtics time was pretty much gone. Bird, when Bird checked, actually he played the last 2 years pretty much injured, and that was the beginning of the end for them. But you got Detroit, you had the bad boys, you had the bad boy Knicks, and you had Chicago.
They had like a couple of years they went through the Pistons, and it was like every year after that was like the freaking Knicks.
Yeah, it was, I mean, anything shy of nailing someone to a cross, is pretty tough to look at. Like,
yeah,
the Pistons were so bad, Evan, that the flagrant foul was introduced because of them. The flagrant foul, a lot of people don't know this, was introduced in 1991. And it was because Chuck Daly.
It's because of the Jordan rule, basically.
Yeah, Chuck Daly, a Brooklyn guy, Yeah. Isaiah, Bill Lambier, Mahorn, Rodman, they were like, wait a second. So if I tap foul that guy, he gets the same amount of free throws that if I just laid his ass out. Wow, I only get a parking ticket for murder? Where do I sign up? So, so you had to find a way to knock someone down, but at the same time pick them up at the same time to make it look like you didn't mean to do it. Yeah. And the Knicks actually perfected their way. So I think the reason why I'm with you on the Jordan thing, and I'm going to come back full circle with LeBron. Bear with me. Mm-hmm. Jordan's path to the championship was just as difficult and noteworthy as the championship himself. Think about it. They had to get through Detroit. All right, Isaiah's time is up. Rodman, painted his hair and joined the Spurs, whatever. And now it's the Knicks. And now you got Mason. You got Oakley. And hey, Oakley, how you doing? Yeah. Don't shake my hand. Get the hell out of here. What? We ain't shaking hands. What are we, fishing buddies? Our kids ain't gonna play together. So then you have them, right? Disappears, comes back. I had to eventually go against Shaq with the Orlando Magic. And then you got the Pacers with Reggie Miller, Mark Jackson, Smits, some bad dudes. Anyone whose last name was Davis, too, enforcers under the rim. Then you had the Miami Heat, a very well-coached Pat Riley team with Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway Sr. And mind you, I didn't even talk about the teams he had to play in the finals. Those are the teams he had to play to get to the finals.
Showtime Lakers.
Yeah. Well, the West was more loaded, but the East was top-heavy. Yeah. Like, when you looked to the East, you knew it was going to be one of those three. With the West, you just didn't know. Like, his first championship, he beat Magic's Lakers, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how deep the West was, a stack. The second year, Trailblazers had to be Clyde the Glide. The third year, Charles Barkley, Phoenix Suns. Then he wants to go play baseball. Okay, good for him. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, Michael. Oh, he got a hit. Oh, my God, he's going to the majors. He got one hit. Comes back in the second half of 95. Throws up 54 points against the Knicks in his Garden re-debut. 96 beats the Seattle Sonics, which a lot of people didn't think they were good, but I remind you, they won 62 games. And no one know they won 62 games because I think the Bulls won like 72. They won like 10 more or something. And then had to beat the Jazz twice. Stockton and Malone. So now bringing it back to LeBron. LeBron should not apologize for beating the people in front of him. Did we want to see the Lakers play the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals? Of course we did. Of course we did, but it's not LeBron's fault that Paul George disappeared and Kawhi was, a little MIA.
That was the weakest Game 7 I've seen out of two superstars ever. I was pathetic.
And they should have learned their lesson from watching the previous round. I mean, the Jazz were up 3-1 on the Nuggets, and the Nuggets came back. If you don't respect history, it's going to repeat itself. Not to mention the two previous seasons, they were up 3-1 and lost, which cost Doc Rivers his job. Which Doc Rivers I thought was a made man, But I guess you ain't a made man unless you're playing in the NBA. Shouldn't apologize for that. Should he apologize that the Bucks didn't make the finals? No, he can. The guy again. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's the superstar that has the easiest path," but you still have to.
Anybody else took care of business.
Yeah, you still have to win those games. And as a volleyball player, you know that, right? Look. First time I met you, first time you were even on my radar. I'm gonna talk about it again. AVP finals for the top bracket for the qualifier.
Yeah. Duncan and Kyle French should have won. They didn't.
They were the 1 seed, right? And that's the point I was talking about. Like, I told Jake and I'm like, you are not gonna. I'm not saying you are an easy win, but I'm like, you are not gonna find a more opportunistic path than you are than right now. And Huntington Beach, they had to face the Cubans, those two Cuban dudes. That's a tough round 3.
Yeah.
Manhattan, they had to play Baranek and Kolinsky, and who went to all the way to the fucking semifinals. Yeah. And then Chicago, they had to play Hayden and Brunner. So I mean, when you think about as far as opportunistic path, I'm like, we got to beat this dude and whoever that pain in the ass lefty is. And then I found out how you were the first 3 serves, and then after that, I said, I don't want to know this guy. I want to know this guy later. I don't want to know this guy now. We're not serving him. Well, I said we have to give up a free ball. He's gonna have to go in front of his guy and take it from him. You're gonna right. That was I did not want you to hit on two. I told them if they're served to space, I want them to go dead smack middle of the court, because if you did option, you'd lose some of your court vision. I said, do not go short. That dude's gonna hit on two. And if you're gonna go position 4, you're gonna go Velela's left shoulder. Make sure you mean it. Make sure you mean it, because this team, if you serve lollipops, we're gonna get licked. You know, because even with Staff, that was a dangerous dude. That's a dangerous player. You as a lefty setter, you're gonna give him the ball he wants. He's gonna hold his platform. You're gonna use your hands all the time. So wow, went from basketball and here we all the way back to volleyball. I think the point I was trying to make is there's something to be said about taking care of the things you can control.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, I do think that people do have a point whenever they're saying that LeBron is the greatest, and I think we have to just accept kind of the greatness separately. I think it's too hard to compare. If LeBron goes against the era that Jordan had to go against, I think he struggles a little bit more, because he's predicated on getting to the foul line, getting those bump and ones and stuff like that. And that wouldn't have flown back then. It wouldn't have been called a foul. Like,
it's true. Yeah.
he just gotten mauled, and then like I don't know how he would have handled that beating, but I mean, that's all like hypothetical stuff that we can never know. Yeah, so I think we just have to accept the greatness for where it is on both ends.
He's physically prepared. I mean, the guy's conditioning, like you said, is off the page, and you see him get knocked down, but it's because the NBA has been the flop league.
Yeah.
The last few years, they're no more flagrant, so you got to make it look like one. You know what I'm saying? You see LeBron James bounce off of I don't know, give me someone really short.
He probably goes against like Tyler Hero in the finals, and it's just like, oh,
yeah. You just got run over by Chris Paul, right? Come on, stop. You know, or Damian Lillard. You know, I mean, come on, you outweighed a guy by 50 pounds.
Yeah,
knock it off. So. I'll tell you who I think is a made man. Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra, man.
Yeah.
The chipmunk.
That was a.
My girl calls him the chipmunk. He looks like
that was a really, really well coached finals by him. The way that I thought the way that they played, that's the way they needed to play. They needed to have 7 guys averaging double figures a night in order to have a chance.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look at the Lakers, super top heavy. You're going to have 2 guys every night putting it on you, and then maybe 2 or 3 guys shooting a couple threes a game. And then that's all they need. They don't need like tremendous production from anybody outside of AD and LeBron. But like Spoelstra is like, all right, we got to play ultimate team basketball, move that ball around, and just, I mean, Jimmy Butler, yeah, dude had a hell of a series. That was impressive in itself. That dude willed his way to 2 wins.
Butler did it, dude. Well, normally, look, in the NBA, well, any sport, if you win, it's the players. If you lose, it's the coaches. But with that being said, I told Rob, I have another podcast called Sports Debate Tuesday, and I told Rob the winner out of the East is going to have the best coaching. And I said the winner out of the West is going to have the best talent. With that being said, there was one team in the West that had talent and the level of coaching where they made adjustments after halftime and between games. There was one team that had talent and good coaching that no one was talking about, and that team was the Lakers. So if you've seen, like, they dropped to first match to Lillard, they made adjustments. You know, they dropped the first match to this whomever, they made adjustments and won the next 4. And they used the hell out of Anthony Davis in these mismatches against I can't remember the forward's name second round, but it was just the guy Davis was just shooting.
Did a really good job of using like the pick and roll and stuff to get him on that mismatch. Old school pick and rolls, man.
Yeah, old school basketball with a bunch of I'm not gonna call them divas, but with a bunch of celebrities that kind of like to do their own thing. But you're gonna see a huge separation from people that like to do their own thing when the finals comes. Yeah. Which is why you look at Harden and you don't see him making the finals. You look at Westbrook, you never see him making the finals again. Oddly enough, the last time the two of them made the finals was together with the OKC Thunder, losing to LeBron's Miami Heat.
Yeah.
when you see these guys that play ISO ball, it's fun, and they will be in the playoffs. But you don't see ISO ball in the finals. You don't. You'll see a player here, whatever, like Kawhi Leonard had to do it to beat the Sixers. Do you remember
Yeah.
that shot that
That bounced on the rim for sort of like
eh,
10 seconds and falls
Jesus
in.
Christ. How about I put that one up, dude? I gotta look for that. I gotta put up Kawhi's winning shot. And so which team do you like to follow? Lakers. Lakers? Is that your team?
I mean, I'm a hometown guy. I'm always football. I mean, we don't have baseball, but football, basketball. We got pro sports in New Orleans. So I'm a big Saints guy and a big Pelicans guy. I actually go to my family goes to church with Drew Holiday, so that's super cool. Um, uh,
Zion's the man.
I
Yeah.
think he could be.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
my
I
girl's
think
parents are Duke. They went to Duke Law School and undergrad. The mom and the father went to Duke Law School, so that pretty much makes me a Duke basketball fan. So go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
I think he could be. I don't know if I think our coaching
Mhm.
change will probably help us because I personally thought that Gentry was terrible for managing Zion. I thought they were being like super cautious, and I mean the dude's like 19 years old. Yeah, he had a knee problem, but like we can't like baby him into the league. Like he's a grown man. The way that dude's built, he's a grown man.
You
Like
just have to make a sneaker that he could play basketball in. Did you see the Duke game where he got
yeah,
injured
just like
because
straight rip
his
it.
cut was so hard he cut right out of his sneaker. He cut the heel right out of his sneaker from cutting hard with all that weight.
Yeah. And I just think they didn't do a good job of letting him be the man. Like that dude can be the man. And I think there's certain teams where like yeah you have to play team basketball. Like the Heat. The Heat did a really good job playing really good team basketball, but they also understood Jimmy Butler's the man, and they were like okay, it's clutch time. We're giving the man the ball, and we're just gonna let him go to work.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Pelicans ever really have found that identity with Zion yet.
No, and they might find it with a different coach. Who's the coach now?
They haven't hired anybody yet. They're still looking.
Mark Jackson would be awesome.
Yeah, I think they're looking at him. I think
Church going dude too.
was some rumors maybe of taking Jason Kidd from the
The
Lakers
Lakers,
as an
yeah.
assistant, and then maybe Mike D'Antoni as well. I think I heard.
Sorry. Bunch of. Sorry, I'm
When it
trying to see if I
comes
could
to
pull up this
Sunday,
video and they give me these
choose
ads.
the right
Giving me
guy.
these ads, man. I don't want no ads. I just want to
Here's
see the shot.
Original light beer. It's
Shut
Miller
up.
time.
You got to
There it
be
is.
aware of the inbounder here if you're Philly.
I'm probably gonna have to delete this when I put this on the edit because I don't want anybody taking my videos. There it is. Jesus freaking Christ, dude. That's how you knew he was gonna win. And it was the first time you saw him actually show some kind of emotion. He's kind of a cold
Yeah.
dude, and he kind of sat there and he kind of like took a seat, put his butt on the ground, and yeah, good for him. So you're New Orleans all the way, huh?
Yeah, through and through. I mean, we're gonna have our bad years, gonna have our good years, but I don't play that bandwagon stuff.
I don't either. I'm a lifelong Knicks fan, but I'm not. And I'm done. I turned in my Knicks card, but I didn't. All I had to
Not a
do was
bad idea.
look. You understand, right? I mean, you're my boy, right? You understand. But
What's
for
that?
me to jump
Like,
on another bandwagon, all I had to do was cross the Manhattan Bridge or the Brooklyn Bridge, the Nets. I'm a Nets fan. I got a big old Brooklyn hat around here somewhere, and I'll show you sometime. But so I'm down with the Saints. Though I really like the Saints. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. That's my team because that's a team that plays in New York instead
Yeah.
of instead of New Jersey, like the Giants and Jets do. Yeah, love me some Drew Brees, man. Love me
Yeah.
some Drew Brees. How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
22.
So how old are you when Katrina hit?
I was in second grade, so I was like 8 years old.
8 years old.
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't fully know the like magnitude of it at the time. I just knew that I was like away from home for 3 months, and that was like pretty crazy. But the one of the real like things with the Saints, and I don't think a lot of people realize it, and like how diehard a lot of New Orleans people are about like the Saints. Right after Katrina, because that's whenever we got Breeze in 2006. Katrina was 2005, and we drafted Reggie Bush second, and that's when we had our like run to the NFC Championship. Lost to the Bears.
That was
But,
a
like,
good team, dude.
it was like a revival for the city, just having like something that people could take their minds off of like the harsh part of life. I mean, like it beat us up, and like whenever the Saints were just good, because I mean they sucked for forever, and like they were finally good, and it just out of nowhere, and so it gave people just like something to grasp onto for like hope and happiness, and it was just really cool. Have like the entire city just like rallied around the team, and I don't think a lot of people understand like what that feels like. I think like, I mean, obviously Yankees fan, but like after the Boston Marathon, whenever that they felt like hopeless, the Red Sox and that area, like the Red Sox revitalized them after that tragedy. They won the World Series, and like it's crazy what sports can do to take your mind off of things and kind of create some hope that isn't there usually.
I'll give you another example. Well, I'm old enough. 9/11. When 9/11 hit, we had this year where the Yankees, they were in the playoffs every year, but I mean, and they won 4 of the last 6 World Series. So even the bad teams were figuring out a way to get on base, and it's like every time the Yankees got on base, like the air left the sails out of the other team. It's like, shit, here we go again. But after 9/11, sports returned, and it was really, really weird. Like that we were playing, and we knew the players that represented New York, albeit the Giants, Jets, Knicks, Yanks, Mets, Islanders, Rangers. They were playing, but it seemed like their heart was somewhere else. They knew that doing their job would actually help people. Will provide people with a form of escapism. Yeah. And I think that's what we're talking about here. So, but it changed when we played the Oakland A's, and we're down 2-0, right? And this dude is rounding third, and he's about to score. It's the 9th inning. It's the bottom of the 9th in Oakland. And Derek Jeter, there's some kind of relay throw, and Derek Jeter, who had no business being at the first base line, just took the ball and did like this 180 and just threw it home, tagged the guy out. It's one of the best plays, defensive plays, you're probably ever going to, I mean, okay, look, I'm biased. I was going to say you're ever going to see in baseball, but I'm a prisoner of the moment. And then something happened. We ended up winning that game, extra innings. Then we ended up beating the Oakland A's. And then we ended up beating a Seattle team that won like 100 games. And then we wound up against the Diamondbacks. And the Diamondbacks eventually won the whole World Series because Kurt Schilling can go kick rocks. He did it to us twice. He did it with the Diamondbacks, and he did it with Boston, the bloody Red Sox.
Bloody sock game.
Yeah. So, but it was bases loaded. They got a base hit on the Sandman, Mariano Rivera. They ended up winning, but it was important. I mean, you go all the way to the World Series. That's a whole nother month that New York has this form of escapism. And escapism is important. Everybody's like, no, you have to be here. No, you don't always have to be here, dude. You're there every day, 24/7. You have to stay home. No, I've been staying home every day, 24/7. Your place is over here. No, my place has been here every day, 24/7. Give me something, and this is why I'm glad the NBA created the bubble. Give me something that provides a form of escapism. COVID happened, right? Messed up a lot of sports. Social justice happened. The NBA is predominantly black, and they were thinking about not playing, but they were like,
"No, we need to do this."
Yeah, and for me, who's mixed, my mom's black, my father's white. I've never seen any situation where it stops a black man from going to work. No, white people have a career, black men have a responsibility. So. But I knew everyone was going to go the direction LeBron went. LeBron was playing, and that's a testament to his power. All the other traffic was steering his way. Created a bubble for a price. 0 positive tests.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you learned as a volleyball player as far as creating a bubble where quarantine becomes quarantine? Is there something you learned from the NBA or just the AVP, what they did on that 3-week series that just made you more intelligent about how you do your business?
I mean, I haven't really. I've been traveling a ton. I've been fortunate enough to not really have any run-ins with it. That's been really awesome. Just been really fortunate on that end. Traveling on planes and stuff. You're putting yourself at a pretty big risk. I think the biggest thing, it's being smart, but also like it's not living in fear either. Like I think a lot of those guys, like I think maybe a lot of people would say they're fearful for like playing in these bubbles, but I think it's actually kind of like the opposite. Like it's like it takes a lot of like courage. I think I've seen a lot of people like bashing people, like they're like, yeah, you just like won like the easiest finals ever. You didn't have any crowd. You just were like living on a resort every day, and that's all you had to do.
It's like, do you know how hard that is?
I was like, okay, you can say that, but they didn't allow their families on like into the bubble until 2 months in. So imagine being away from your family for 2 months. Imagine not having anything to do outside of that. You're stuck basically in your hotel room or practicing or lifting weights or whatever. So like you're just grinding. And for people who really haven't done that, I don't think they can appreciate it. So like playing in college or something like that, or playing professionally, you can kind of understand and like appreciate what they had to do, because you've been through that grind. And it's almost like whenever you're done with your day, it's almost like you need an escape. And like that escape is usually like your family or your friends or something like that. You have some sort of escape that you can go to.
Yeah. Yep.
But these dudes, for like, if you were in the finals, and Jimmy Butler didn't bring his family there the entire time. Like that dude was stuck in a bubble for 3 months with no escape from his job. And I think a lot of people can't really appreciate that until they've like really gone through something like that.
Well, a lot of people don't appreciate it, Evan, because very few people are in a position where their escapism becomes their career.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like me, I started playing volleyball because it was away from my bullshit world. A home away from home where, if I'm living paycheck to paycheck and, rent's due and my roommate's not paying his rent and all this nonsense, go to Central Park, New York, go play volleyball. And for these guys, basketball was their escapism, and then it becomes your college career because you have a full ride, right? Now you got a free education that says you could play the sport.
You have a chance to change your
and
family's
then,
legacy.
There. You get a free education that says you could play the sport, and then and this is the point I was trying to make. When your escapism becomes your career, those things you were talking about has to be your escape. The family, friends, maybe just Friday night poker game, just time with your kid, in the park and this and that. So these are things that elite athletes can identify with, and that people that maybe play a sport for a hobby or semi-serious about a sport have a hard time identifying with. I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on people saying, "Oh, you don't know," but I guess I gotta just say it straight up. They don't know. You don't know. So they have, and some, I'll go so far as to say they don't have a clue. So. But I give you another example. The AVP, right? They couldn't afford the same bubble as the NBA, but their level of responsibility away from the court, who they trained with, were the same people. Who the houses they stayed with, they stayed amongst themselves. Eric Baranek and Gino Urango are practically roommates right now. So that's, Bill and Kelly, they also play together. Delaney Knutson, Travis Mewhirter, they're married right now. I don't know. That was the one I didn't see coming. I'm going to sound like I'm dissing people, but there's some people I look at them, I'm like, yeah, I see that. But those two, I was like, so what do y'all talk about? He's gonna listen to this. I'm gonna get this from him, but I gotta be.
I actually just hung out with them all this past weekend because they were in Nashville with me.
Coolest dude in the world, huh?
Awesome. Yeah, love Travis and Delaney.
Great writer.
Incredible.
Yeah, great writer. The only encounter I had with Delaney is I was at LMU, as director of operations. She was an assistant coach at Pepperdine, And she was like, you can't coach the players. You can't coach the players. And I'm just like, I'm like, who are you? who are you? And I mean, to me, I was just gonna say, you got a problem, me go to John, but I just kind of like squashed it because I saw her overstepping her boundaries as an assistant coach. Assistant coaches ain't supposed to talk to me either, and maybe what a director of operations does at LMU is, and what one does at Pepperdine are two different things, but watch your mouth, young lady, but she was right. Like me, I didn't think I crossed any line because we can hint. We can only coach the coaches. I mean, DOs can't coach the players. So, and it's different, right? In the South, a director of operation probably brings the coaches coffee, right? On the East Coast, a director of operation is liaison between the athletic director and the head coach. They take care of all that. They're chairborne rangers. I call them chairborne rangers instead of airborne rangers. What John wanted me to do was videotape every practice and game and email him 4 things that I liked and 4 things that need improvement. Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm basically my own boss, So no, but I didn't like her at first. I thought she's, a little cocky girl. And I'm like, okay, she's in a draw. And, how's she different from any other girl with a visor, cap and shades? But clearly, I get to know her a little bit. I talk to her periodically. We ain't buddies or nothing, but the person I first met and the person I know now are not. They're kind of the same person, so it was more on me than her, right? And she's still the same person, so that's me self-examining. Who was I a dick? Who was I at that time? So that's just me, just trying to find my way to own up, but and at the same time, keep it real. So, but AVP bubble, pretty cool. I don't know if you've been watching my pictures on social network. I went to Carmel, California, 30-person group. All of us got COVID tested. We stayed at 2 hotels, and we only had dinner with each other. And they played like 13 games a day for like 7 to 10 days. I only stayed 5, and me, I don't know what the hell they made of, dude. I do like 6, and nothing hurts. It's a good day. I'm out. I'm 50. But you got 60-year-olds playing 12 games, and I'm like, I thought of you. I said, that's how Evan's body is programmed. He's playing every weekend to play these tournaments, and the reason why he ain't dead and he's still alive and walking on 2 legs and drinking water like a mammal, and shaving occasionally is because you're doing these tournaments every weekend. Am I right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For sure. I mean, and you can't really condition for that, really. I swear. It's like the conditioning for those tournaments is playing tournaments like that. So it's like the more that you play in, the better you get off, like better you get at them.
Dude, it's definitely an argument that supports game-based drills versus drill-based drills.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone wanted to win that argument with me, and they're always going to lose that because I don't think one exists on a scale without the other. But if they use you as an example, I think I'm gonna lose that argument. So I talked to Mark Fornicari.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he kind of got upset I put him on blast because he had a little meltdown with the ref.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, are you drunk? I said it like a queen, and and it's weird. Like, I didn't think I was being disrespectful. I mean, but then I thought about the way I diss people. When I diss people, if I diss you, I attack a volleyball player with volleyball.
Yeah.
If you play like Kentucky Fried Ass, I'm gonna say you play volleyball like Kentucky Fried Ass. Why? Because it's extreme, but it's all within the bounds of attacking a volleyball player with a volleyball.
Yeah.
And when I asked him if he was drunk, that's when I was like, you know what? I think he's right. That's attacking him personally. And when I watched the whole game, and you saw some calls that could have went one way or another. Yeah. And it was like 3 or 4 calls that could have went one way or another. Like all 4 went against him, and he blew up. So I told him, yo, give me a number, man. I want to apologize to you. I want to call you personally and apologize. And if I see you, if I actually see you face to face, I'm going to shake your hand and say, hey, no hard feelings, my bad. Yeah. I get a little carried away. But we had a really good conversation, and I told him I watched the whole match, and I gave him a piece of advice that you don't need. If you have a problem with something, head it off at the path. Don't let it go and have it boil over and boil over to a point when you do explode, your response is so disproportionate. People think you're the one that's crazy.
Yeah.
That ever
And
happen to you? Sometimes, like, someone brings a knife to a gunfight and people get mad at you because you shot them,
Yeah.
metaphorically speaking.
I never really had that issue. It's kind of funny if you watch that game. I don't know if you can really hear it, but I like egged him on him. I wanted him to keep going because I knew it was about to happen. Like if he just got so frustrated that to the point that he was basically not thinking about the game, and I think that's the game within the game.
Like maybe he'll get blocked the next play.
Yeah, and go watch the game. It happened. He got blocked. He got blocked the next 2 plays.
Yep.
I actually think I blocked him one, and then he hit one in the net. But that was like the game within the game for me, and I love that part of the game. It's like if we really want to talk about Jordan, that's something he did. That dude would play mind games with you like nobody's business. I wanted to keep him going. And I started telling him because it was like 2 minutes in the argument. And I was like, Mark, you need to get back on the court. We need to just get this game going. I knew if I said that, he was going to stop and he was going to continue to try and stop the game and keep going on and keep blowing it out of proportion. And I was like, this is right where I want him. And at that time, I think the game was 9-9. And we ended up winning that set 21-11. So it definitely worked in our favor.
Wow, dude. And Steven Roshitz is a freaking instigator. He's a terrorist. Steven Roshitz like, dude, just let him cry.
He loves that part, I feel like. He just loves to let people just kind of nitpick a little bit. Just throw his comment here and there.
Do you know Kevin Knight?
Yeah. So I met him in Cincinnati for that tournament, and then obviously he was on Mark's team for that. And then I've been talking to Kevin a little bit here and there because he's kind of got his own YouTube page starting to get going. And
I saw it. I subscribed.
Yeah, and so he's been asking me to start trying to post some stuff. So I'm going to start trying to get some more game footage out there and help him out there with that.
Are you playing this weekend?
Yeah, playing at Fuds. And so that will be on Kevin's YouTube page.
Okay. Are you live streaming too?
Yeah, I'll be live streaming and then it'll be posted to YouTube as well after.
Cool. Hey, the reason why I'm asking, I probably might want to borrow your file and I could scoreboard it. I could live stream it on mine with yours with the scoreboard.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. And the only thing you got to do is live stream it. Basically, this Ninja Flame, and this for the people wondering at home how I did the AVP, because I got a bunch of emails and I promised them I would tell them, and they're like, "Oh, cool." And then I did the California procrastination shit. I just didn't do it. And I feel like an idiot because as a New Yorker, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So hold on, this is the camera. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called the Atomos Ninja Flame. So basically, Evan Cory would like live stream on Facebook on this. So I would take my mouse, I would take the file, I would drag it to this screen, and this screen, of course, if you look closer, you can record. We're recording right now. And here is a 4-camera switcher. So I hook my phone up that has a scoreboard, score cam, and I do a wipe up and down instead of a left and right. And on my down wipe or my up wipe, you're going to see something that looks like this. And hold on, bear with me. Stay with me for a second. You're going to see something that looks like, here it is, this. Where is it? Actually, I'm just going to put it on the table. So you're going to see something that looks like this. So that's the scoreboard on the bottom. See that on the bottom?
Yeah.
And I do a wipe for the top screen, which is your live stream, and the bottom is the bar that has the scoreboard and the set and everything. So that's how I did the scoreboard for the AVP. I borrowed Renee Marcellus's file, with her permission, of course. Because people get a little tight without permission, even though I'm doing them a favor. I'm getting you more viewers, you dick. And I do it that way. So if anyone was asking, And if they don't see this episode, that's not on me. They got to listen to this episode. You have quite the following. You've broken 4 digits on one of your live streams. You were like 900, and I'm like, wait for it. Did he crack it? Did he crack the 900? I don't know. But you had a post
I've been
AVP.
getting sometimes in the thousands. That's been super awesome. Just been super thankful for Louisiana volleyball. They're super supportive. I think we have a really big community. I'm not going to say that we have a super high quality community as far as play goes. I'm sorry, anybody Louisiana volleyball listening. We are not a bunch of great volleyball players. I think
That's a
cool.
challenge. That's not a diss. Right? No, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Cowboy the fuck up.
Yeah. But
sorry, excuse me.
I mean, I think we have a really good community here as far as all supporting each other. And no matter if it's Metairie, New Orleans area, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, people just want to see people from this area do well. And so gotta give the people at home the shout out for this one for the views. I mean, I'll come back from tournaments and stuff like that, and I'll be practicing throughout the week, coaching throughout the week. And I mean, I'll have 20, 30 people throughout the week just be like, hey, watch the tournament. That was awesome. I love like this part of the stream. I love like this game. And it's like, it's so cool. It's like, yeah.
Doesn't it mean a lot? Yeah.
Yeah. It means a lot to them that they see somebody from this area succeeding. So I can't just like express the gratitude enough to those people.
When you win your first AVP, you got to give me the podcast the next day.
All right.
Because I'm the right. Don't forget about the little people when you make it. Okay. I need you to be my Louisianan Eric Baranek, because success does change some people, and that's just a reality. But I can keep glass half full and name the names of people who stayed the same, that came up. Like Eric, I met 4 years ago. He was still coming up, and then a couple of years ago, he made the draw like 6 times with 5 different partners, and I'm like, all right, this dude's a hitman for hire. But Kalinsky picked him up, boom, got his semis, and now he's got the rub. Guess what?
Yeah.
Same week, podcast. Troy Field first came up. Troy Field, when I was doing NY Varsity Sports, just doing video, and Troy Field and me were actually working 2 different cameras. Troy was helping me with that. Troy Field came up, still the same dude. Some people thinks the stardom got to his head a little bit, but I just think when you get to where you got to go and your phone starts blowing up and everyone's like, hi, it's me. And you're looking at your phone for a name, and I'm like, I don't know no fucking me. I don't, excuse my part of my language, but I don't know me. So I think he's going through an overload of people, and I think he's still the same person. He's just handling it the same way he knows how. So and good for him. I know he's a God-fearing church going fellow too. He's a little crazy for Jesus. Me too. I'm a little gay for Jesus. Same thing. So I was raised in I was born in the Catholic Church, but I was raised in an Assemblies of God church. And when I say Assemblies of God, and Pentecost, that little combination of the two of them, you know what I'm talking about. People dancing up the aisles, hand up, doing a dance. Basically 3-hour, 4-hour service. Only an hour is the sermon. An hour and a half is just praying and praising, and the other half is just really good music, because I eventually, I got musical talent. So, and I sang choir for them for like 5 years. It was Coney Island Gospel Assembly in Brooklyn. So, but anyone, who forgot who their God is, whoever you perceive him to be, Allah, Yahweh. If you're an atheist, your God is Tom Cruise. No, actually your God is Joe Rogan, or Jesse Ventura. There's a virtue in just remembering how you were brought up. There's a virtue. Like, I'm not a church guy anymore. Eventually, the church treated me like an outsider until I left, but the principles and how you're raised and what shapes you to be this respectful human being, which you are, that's your reputation. I mean, people look at me, do they see a respectful human being? Maybe sometimes, but did a lot of good things, man. I also realize the difference between socialism and activism. So, people could talk about the unfair prison system, or you can go visit one. Go visit a prison system. Go talk to some people. So, good for you. Did you go Saturday or Sunday?
I
Sunday night.
Don't really get to go much with traveling right now.
Act like your father. I'm like, look. You show respect.
But my whole family goes on Sundays usually. I still think it's important. I don't necessarily get to go to church, but I do think it's still important to stay in touch with God. It's just always been a part of my life. I was raised Catholic and went to Catholic school all throughout high school. And so it's always a big part of my life. And it's done a lot of good for me. I think a lot of people can bash certain areas and extremes of religion. But I think as long as you get the core teaching out of it and you don't take things too extreme one way or the other, because I think even too much extremism of religion can end up being a bad thing. Because you just end up thinking that everybody's bad.
Yeah, you could be about that fire and brimstone instead of spread the love. Yeah.
But I mean, as long as you take it a good way and kind of understand God put you on this earth, and do your best to I don't even want to say like make him proud, because you don't need to make him proud. But I mean, just do your best to leave a good impression on other people, and just kind of do the best that you can with what he gave you. And
I'm happy we even brought it up. I mean, it's kind of weird that this came up, in a volleyball podcast, but I got a guy like you, your family goes to church. Me, I'm not a deeply religious person, though I know where I came from. I mean, for Christ's sakes, when we connected on Zoom, I was playing These Hoes Ain't Loyal. Okay, so I mean, a lot of it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but that's what a podcast is. A podcast is sometimes about stating facts, and sometimes it is about contradicting yourself and self-examining, and that's the purpose of this podcast, to provoke thought. Last time around, I didn't really get a chance to talk about that. We talked about volleyball, but that's okay, because that's why we get all dressed up, right? We get all dressed up in somewhere to go. So, who are you playing with this weekend again?
It's my coach.
Oh, it's Fuds. It's fours, right?
Yeah, fours.
All right.
So my coach from home is our setter. His name's Joey Keener. He's in his 40s now. But I mean, dude's still got hands of gold, and probably one of the best in-game managers I've ever played with. If you want to talk about working referees, especially quads, knowing how to run a team, get the best out of everybody on the team, and really make sure they're doing their jobs correctly and above expectation. And then it's probably one of the people I'm close with right now, constantly working with him right now, just practicing every week and stuff like that. And then we got JD playing back row for us, basically, and
cool.
Dishing out the dimes.
Split hits, Is it
passing.
men's fours?
Yeah.
All right.
And then Ian Bicko, who probably isn't like super highly well-known name, definitely has increased his stock, I think, a lot this year. He's a 6'8" blocker. He probably has some of the best hands for a big man I've seen at that height. That he can hand set just about anything. And then I just think together as a fours team, we play really well together because we're all super close. That's like the four closest people probably that we all have in the volleyball community. So it'll just be a good time. Go out there and you heard it here first. Beat the Crabs. It's gonna happen.
No doubt. When you get a chance, say what's up to Jeff. I called Jeff on the phone a week ago, and I told him, you ever get a chance to train with him? He's very, very good. He's people think he's like a little bit too eccentric for them, but he has I think him coaching himself, just coaching juniors, and then just doing these co-op training sessions has given him a calming effect where, as far as sharing the knowledge, I think you can learn a lot from him if you just train with him a couple of times, but definitely say what's up. All right. What's your club? Your is it a beach club?
Yeah, it's a beach club.
What's the name? What's the name of the club?
The name is Premier Beach Volleyball.
Premier. Okay.
Yeah. pretty simple, pretty vague, but I mean, that's kind of, it's just like what we strive for. I mean, me and Joey mostly, he's like the brains behind the operation. I'm just the puppet that he gets to toy around with and get to try different things, basically. But he really is focused on excellence, and we've had the past 2 years, we've had 20 kids go play Division I volleyball, or 20
Good stuff.
beach volleyball. 20 kids out of
Not
Louisiana.
bad. Not bad.
That's really incredible.
Well, that's
And,
astronomical for Louisiana. So
yeah. So I mean, that's just really what we strive for, and our goal is to make sure that every kid that comes to our club can play at the college level if they want to.
I had recently had Oz Borges on my podcast this morning, in fact, and he's younger than me, but we come from a very old school set where we had this conversation about the wall, that freaking wall. Basically, he's from Cuba, and me, the way I was taught volleyball, I had a bunch of Dominicans and some Russians here and there, different population in New York, different immigration. And we had a general rule, you weren't allowed to take the court unless you could take care of first hit. Meaning first hit, meaning serve receive, and free ball, down ball. So you could be tall, because a lot of people, oh my God, you could tall. I'm going to teach you how to hit middle, and we'll work out the other stuff later. No. This man, have you ever seen Oz play? And I don't know if you were at the Hermosa Beach.
I played against him once.
The year before, he played with Bruno. He made the draw with Bruno, and both of them had like blisters. Like, dude, they played Rafu and Peter Marciniak. It was like 21-18 lost, but then the son from the qualifier the day before, you looked at the feet, man, looked like roast beef, man. You look like you put it between two pieces of bread and serve it for lunch, for Christ's sakes. But how much does first hit and an emphasis on coaching first hit for you as a player coach mean to you and these kids?
That's like the main things we work on is our first two contacts. We really think the first two are super important. Obviously, passing. We kind of even started talking about it now as like a player, as like setting up your offense off of your pass.
Yep.
So it's not even just, okay, we're going to pass this ball into the same spot every time. It's, okay, I'm seeing this. I want to give a different look. So I'm going to change where my pass is at in order to give that different look. And it's still controlled. It's still a good pass. But we're basically controlling where we want to set our offense up from based off of our pass. And that's how specific we want to be when we're passing. We basically, so we'll take a cart, just like a small ball cart. And if we're not passing like 50% into the ball cart, then it's not good enough. And we've even, I can't fully give out our secrets, but we're working on a system right now for next year that we want to start playing with a little bit, so we can really hone that pass in, and whoever my partner will be, we'll run that system, and it's going to be really fun. Because I don't know if you've seen, and it's not even a secret anymore, but I do jump set a lot. And
yeah, that's a European thing.
Yeah, and so we really are focusing on really using that first contact as a set. And if we can use the first contact as a set, then we're almost starting to create an indoor offense where there's multiple options on every play. There's different things that can happen, and I think that's kind of where the game is going, and we just want to be ahead of the curve.
I'm already ahead of the curve. This podcast is called The Option, my man. Yeah. As you know, I'm a club coach with Endless Summer. And there's nothing more gratifying in the world than knowing, you find your way for girls to get commitments, because we have a small group, 22 girls, but we lead the nation in commitments per capita. We had 8 girls, 3 going to USC, 1 UCLA, 2 Long Beach State, 1 Grand Canyon, and 1 Arizona. So when you tell me stories like that, I'm like, oh yes, just something where someone's love for the sport allows that to be their 12-month experience in college, because that's not for everybody. Look, my girl, she went to Harvard. She didn't play. She doesn't want that to be a 12-month experience.
Yeah.
You, hell yeah. Hell to the year. Where do I sign up? I get to do this 11 to 12 months out of the year? Me? Yeah, at that time, sure.
I don't want to do it 13 months.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
I want to do it 13 months out of a possible 12. Otherwise, I'm not interested. What else you got? So, well, the reason why I'm asking that is because we have seen, and I'm only going to use, I don't want to be too all over the place, so I'm just going to consolidate this discussion to women's and girls volleyball. In 2019 alone, consolidating it even tighter.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go even tighter than that. Hermosa Beach, 2019. You had Maple and Kraft finishing fifth, 15 and 17 years old. You had the Norris twins qualifying, finishing within the top 10, I think for either ninth or whatever. You had Chrissy Jones, who just graduated the Todd Rogers School of Intellect and Physicality. That's Cali Prep, Cal Poly.
Yeah.
By the way, the least talked about high-level player in the AVP. I bang my fist. Why are we talking about this girl? And then this social justice thing too, an African-American girl who's doing her thing. She made the semifinals.
Yeah, it was on
in Hermosa Beach. Her and Muno and Jones made the semifinals. My boy Rob, his girlfriend, played her in the qualifier in the first round. And Chrissy and Muno won 21-9, 21-5. And I was like, damn, Miranda, I thought, she told me she felt good about going into this tournament. What the hell happened? But then you saw what happened. The girls that played them made it all the way to the semis. So, both things turned out to be true. Now, here's my thing. Here's my question to you. What's changed from girls ages 22 right now? Let's just say 16 to 22. And the girls right now who are 22 to 30. Mm-hmm. That's made this group of girls just take over.
I mean, I think it's the dedication at a young age, basically. They basically are changing their interests from indoor to beach at a younger age, and they're right. Getting those reps at a younger age. So
they're not splitting time anymore, right?
No, they're more polished as a product going into college. So probably you have some of these kids 18 years old that if they trained all that time, and that's why there's 18-year-olds that are beating up grown women, because they've already dedicated probably more time at that age than the older women have to beach in their entire lives.
Yeah, you got 16s getting their triple. I see some adults in these local CBVA tournaments. Oh, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Just got the shit kicked out of me by a 15-year-old. How about you? I agree with you. I co-sign it. It is a result of girls making led decision to take their talents to the beach, and not split the time from indoor and the beach. Almost some, like you said, exclusive, hot turkey, not cold turkey. Yeah. What then? Also, the common denominator is beach volleyball became an NCAA sport. Becomes an NCAA sport. Now all of a sudden,
that's also why I think that they changed the split time to the full time. It's because they recognized that there was an area where they could go and take an opportunity and use it. So that's why they started doing it.
Get another scholarship opportunity, yeah. My boss, my program director, her daughter was the shortest player to get a beach volleyball scholarship at 5'3". She went to U of H. And then she just transferred to FIU, I guess. I don't know, it's playing time. And I like the head coach, but my boy Evan Soberstrom's not exactly the easiest guy to play for. But I like him a lot. I like his style. He's old school. But that's where I think you're right. And this is why, and I love it. You know why? Because all of these girls that are walking around, ages 22 to 30, acting like they're the best thing that happened since fucking Coca-Cola, have to re-examine their game. Mm-hmm. You have people that are going to these qualifiers year after year after year after year. And maybe they make the draw here. Some of them never make the draw. And then you got these girls, the Norris twins, made the draw. Boom. Did it again. Made the draw. Oh, Hermosa Beach comes around. Made the draw. Oh, wow. They got draw points. How did that happen? So I think I'm very, very glad, just from the women's perspective, because we could talk about men's in a minute. I'm just very glad from the women's perspective that there's this generation of girls bringing up the rear that is telling them, shape up or ship out.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm cold tonight. When were we just talking about Jesus 20 minutes ago? And an hour before that, these hoes ain't loyal. So let's move on to the men, right? You got guys, and we know who they are. And I hate to be like, I ain't gonna need these, but I'm not, because they know who they are. You're in the qualifier, you're getting closer. You're in the qualifier, you're getting closer. You're in the qualifier, and now some people are stuck in that second and that last round, or that third and that last round, doing a running man, running in place. And then along comes this kid, Miles Partain, makes the main draw, 2017 at 15 years old. His brother is 17, so that's not just one kid being carried by an adult. That's two kids, not even in college yet. I think Marcus is at UCLA now, and
They're both,
my guess is Miles is going to be there
just
too.
started there as well.
Yeah, I know Marcus has got good hands. I don't know if he's going to set up play outside, but his brother's got pretty good hands. And I like that. That's a very small example of some of these teams that know that they have to do something different. Mm-hmm. Think about it. The first time they made the draw, they beat Matt Martyr, Matt. Does Matt Martyr jump higher than both Partains? Yes. Has he been playing beach longer than him? Yes. Is his hands nicer? Yes. Does he block? Does he have better penetration? Yes. Does he hit better than both of them? A shit ton better. Why am I losing 2-0? Why am I losing 2-0? I might be asking you, but I'm asking myself as a rhetorical question. But I want you to take, I can't do all the talking here, man. I got to give you something.
It's because of their first contact. They perfected that option system that we were talking about. Yep. And kind of what I'm working towards as well.
Big up to Jeff Alzina, man.
Yeah. And I really feel bad because Marcus is obviously, he's just dealt with a ton of injury issues. So he's not really getting the credit that Miles is, and Miles obviously deserves all the credit because dude's legit. Played him this weekend in Nashville.
He played with Avery Drost?
Yeah.
Was that let me interrupt you. Was that semis, finals?
Semis.
Okay.
Yeah. So we lost 21-17. We won second set 23-21, then lost 15-12. But the way he takes care of his first contact just allows him to do so much. And it's, I think whenever you set that first contact up that way, that's when you start playing chess, compared to checkers offensively. I think a lot of defenders are able to play chess just because, they're sitting back there. They don't have to set anything up. They start back there. They're already set. They're ready. So they can start playing chess, start doing different little moves, running different plays, stuff like that to really just kind of get into the offensive player's head. And I don't think a lot of players get to that level to where offensively they can go and do the same thing. Offensively, they do the same thing every time. And we're getting to the point where that's not going to work. Offensively, you're going to have to start changing looks up, and you're going to have to start giving the other team different looks. Whether it be a different set, different approach angle, something, you got to get something else. Give the defense different looks, because if not, they're gonna catch on. They're gonna start doing something that they're like, okay, we know you're about to do this.
They're gonna crack the code.
We're gonna pick up a crucial point because we know this is your tendency at this point in the game, and you've been doing the exact same thing the entire game. We're gonna get a read on you at some point. When you can constantly change looks up, you're constantly changing the way that the offense is being portrayed to the defense. You can't really catch a read. It's kind of like the air raid offense in college football. You're constantly changing the looks of your offense. You're constantly changing your sets. You're constantly changing the depths of routes that people are running, the way that people are running, and the defense is always on their heels rather than the defense just like waiting for you. I think the best way to like describe that would be LSU. Whenever they had Leonard Fournette, dude was a freaking beast, but everybody knew he was getting the ball. And up until the Alabama game, nobody could stop him. But at some point, they stacked 9 in the box. They said, throw on us. We know what you're going to do. We know what your game is. And we're just going to wait for you to give your game to us because we're waiting for it. And that's kind of where my head is, at least with all of the way that they set their game up. that's why it was so successful, is because they were just constantly changing looks. The other team was just never prepared for what they were about to do.
Yeah. They also changed up their blocking scheme a lot. Like I was coaching Jeff in New York, and their 4-block switch sometimes would just be a 5 and stay, and this and that. And sometimes you get into the teams that had the best success against the Partains were the ones that used their power to set up their shot. Because sometimes you get head faked and this and that, and your shots, they just get run down. The teams that beat the Partains are the ones that hit that went hard driven every single time. Because this guy's giving up line, and you think you're going to beat the 4-block switch, or you think you're going to reverse field. Instead, he fakes you out. When all you got to do is just hit what he gave you. Drill that motherfucker straight down. You know.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what Jeff and Michael Brunstein did better the first time they played, and didn't hit what he and Doc Vandermeer didn't do that well the second time around in New York. You know,
that's where I found success, like practicing and stuff against them last year. Is just they're together. Yeah, like they don't have like the height and the physicality to compete.
And you got to go power. Yeah, you can't be. You can't fall into these defensive schemes and adjustments they fall into that they make. These adjustments they make at the technical timeout. They're not even, never mind between set 1 and set 2, or never mind, between matches. The big secret is, and everyone's got their secret in their practice, and everyone's got secret drills in this practice or whatever. I had a bunch. But if you listen to my podcast, all of my secrets are out, because I think in order for the sport to be good, I think everybody should have video, and everyone should know everybody's secret, because this way your style and your game is ever changing. How many times have we seen a beach volleyball game where they spend the entire first set feeling each other out? And I'm like, someone that's never watched the sport is going to walk the fuck away from this before the first team even hits 12 points, before the first technical timeout. Football, you just said. Football. LSU and Alabama exchange game tape.
Yeah.
This is how Division I sports is supposed to work, all the way up to the pros. And that's going to happen. Never mind that. That's going to happen.
It's been a big thing for me. I never have a problem. Like, you can go out now. I've been really big on trying to go and post my stuff on YouTube recently. I think I have like 4 or 5 matches up finally. Cool. And I just finished editing another one, so another one should be up here pretty soon.
I'm definitely going to do one of yours. I mean, you're definitely going to be around at the end, so.
Yeah. But I think it's huge. I mean, I don't really care that anybody knows the way I play. And I think that kind of goes along with what you were just saying, and the fact of your game's ever changing. Like the film you just saw from 2 months ago isn't going to be me. Going to be a little bit different version of me. I'm going to have some kind of different look. You're never stagnant. Like, do you really like, okay, this is what we did, so now we're comfortable with that? I don't think if you really, really want to be a great player, you can ever be comfortable with what you're doing. There's always some kind of tweak you can make. I mean, you can even look, Norway is like the most unstoppable team on like the earth right now.
And Maul's got a kid brother, boy.
Yeah.
Maul's got a kid. Andrews Maul's got a kid brother coming up. Sorry, go ahead.
And go look what they were doing in the King of the Court, and they played that exhibition against Samoilovs and Plavins, and they were still changing things. Or like they're not comfortable, even though they're the number 1 team in the world. They're still not comfortable with like the way that they're playing. They always think that there's something better. There's something else that they could add to their game. And I think that's how everybody needs to think about it. Like,
and you never see that team option unless they absolutely have to. They always use 3 hits, which is very, very unique. Something they told Casey and Kerry later on when they met him, because Kerry peppered with them when they were little kids, and look how far they've come. And we were talking about younger guys, younger generations bringing up the rear. That's another example of two players that are taking people older than them, and then doesn't it make some of these older players who've been in the game for longer just self-examine, like, dude, this kid, I don't know what to do. So, but to me, it's all coaching. It's all coaching. You said something about first hit. I translate that to the serve. For the people listening at home, I'm going to give you a piece of advice that my partner in crime here might co-sign or not. Indoor, the thing that divides AA from open are the middles. Outdoor, The thing that divides people worried about their rating and then, oh, this is a B guy, that's a double A. The thing that divides those guys and the guys that don't even know what the hell a rating is because they only play open, the thing that divides those two is the serve. At a certain level in these tournaments and your pool playing in the earlier rounds, everyone's going to have hands. Guys that are double A. They're going to have rock star outside hitters that can hit on the beach. You're going to and eventually enlist a cave troll to put it in the net to block. Pay me some money to cross my bridge. But the hugest separation is going to be serve to space. John Mayer calls it serve to space, and I never used it before I met him, and now no one knows what the hell I'm talking about. So thanks, John. I got that from you. It's the serve. It's the serve. And we had a conversation about controllables. At a juniors level, my 3 controllables, you can come up with 6, but since I'm lazy and I do everything in things at 3, 1 is the serve. That's 100% control, right? No one can knock it out of your hand. 2, in-system setting, which is consistent with what you're talking about, because it's not the physical thing. It's about the neck up, Cory. Mm-hmm. You ask your player, if your partner gives you a perfect pass, can the other team make you set poorly?
Nope.
No. That's a controllable. So I'm basically saying the same thing you are, but to pierce into these younger minds where they're just like, boom, got it. Life moves on. The third thing, in college, they call it playable shots. And juniors, they call it down ball, free ball. So you're always going to have more control than the other team. 80-20, 70-30, there's levels to that, right? I get that. So those are my 3 major controllables for juniors that actually transcends into a lot of college programs too. So I think it's really cool we said the same thing. Oh my God. So man, who are your Saints playing this weekend?
We're on a bye week this week, actually.
Yeah, Buffalo plays Monday night. We got house, dude. We got punked by Tennessee, man. I didn't wear the hat.
It sucks because, well, actually, no, I don't even know what I'm saying. Well, Devin Singletary had a terrible game, but Stephon Diggs still had a good game. That's all I care about because I got them on my fantasy. Team.
Where did Singletary go to the college? I'm trying to remember. You might be young enough to remember. He's second year right now. He's a rookie last year.
See, I'm really good with this stuff usually too.
Yeah.
I can't think of where Singletary went. I think it was a smaller school probably. I had to be.
Cool. So before I go, I wanted to have a little fun. You probably get into a routine on certain foods you eat the night before a tournament. What do you eat the night before a tournament? What feels like a normal night when you have this?
So it's going to be a little interesting probably to most people, but if it's possible, it's usually for lunch. I'll have it. I try to have me some Popeyes fried chicken before a tournament if I can, because I mean, you can't take the Southern person can't take the Southerner out of the Southern guy. But I love me some Popeyes fried chicken. I usually have that like for lunch, and then I'll probably usually eat like some pasta or rice and like some grilled chicken and stuff for dinner, and then I'll usually get some body armor into my system. That's kind of usually what I use to hydrate, the body armor lights. And then
you do that the night before?
Yeah, all hydration night before.
Okay.
I'll drink a ton of water during the day, a little bit of electrolytes on tournament days. And then I think one of the things that's been the key to my success, actually, when we talk about these pacing out in tournaments and goes really unrecognized, gummy bears before every single game. So if you're listening at home and you're worried about tiring out in tournaments,
got to get your vitamin K on with the gummy bears.
Eat a handful of gummy bears before each match, and that's been the key to my success.
Dude, everybody, I hope you're listening. This man is spilling all of his secrets, okay? We're not trying to abuse this, all right? Popeyes is a real thing, dude. Mixed martial artist Derek Lewis and now has Popeyes for life. He went on a post-match interview and said, I want to fight Daniel Cormier because he disrespected Popeyes.
Which is crazy.
So a day later, Popeyes gives him Popeyes for life.
Popeyes like that?
What's that?
I said Daniel Cormier is a Louisiana boy. How's he disrespecting Popeye?
No, it
like
was a
that?
joke. It was a joke. They know damn well Daniel Cormier, only ate a salad.
dude
Only
probably
ate a
loves-
salad to make light heavyweight. He's like, dude, I ate a salad. I never had a salad before. When he decided to go from heavyweight, because he was part of Strikeforce heavyweight division, and then UFC, he wanted to pursue the light heavyweight title. Plus, Cain Velasquez is in his camp, was the champ, so he wanted to be the champ. He's not going to fight someone from his own gym. So
Yeah.
that's a code for them. That's a bro code for them. So, but he's like, dude, I had a salad. But Derek Lewis, for saying that, got free Popeyes for life.
Dang, I need to do that.
I didn't know you watch MMA. You watch
Prime, That's what I
MMA?
need to do. I need to shout out Popeyes on Amazon Prime.
You watch MMA?
Yeah, I actually so was it probably like a month ago now? Dang, already.
Yep.
Was that fight with Izzy and
Ooh, yeah, and Costa. Man, he got schooled.
took him to town. I love watching that match. Ooh.
You know what the cool thing is? At some point, we got to start listening to Israel Adesanya. He's the black mystic Mac. He says he's going to do something, and there's a way he wants to do it, and how he's going to finish the guy. And everything he said that he was going to do, which I thought he's going to win, but I laughed at the way at how he's going to. I'm like, all right, come on, let's be real. You're just trying to get in his head.
Yeah.
I thought he's going to win a 5-round decision because Costa carries so much muscle. Like muscles need oxygen, and when Costa comes after someone, and he loads up all the time. He doesn't really pick his shots. Eventually, right? The blood. Eventually you're going to tire yourself out, and then when you got no hands up, Adesanya's going to kind of do this and. Bam, just, knock you out. So, yeah, good match, man. We got one coming up this weekend, Korean Zombie against
I'll be able to watch it, actually. It's on
Ortega.
Saturday.
Brian Ortega, yeah. Ortega lives here.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, when I sing karaoke, I see him all the time. I go to Hennessy's on the pier to sing karaoke on Monday. He rolls up in his skateboard. I bought him a drink one week. One week he remembered me, bought me a drink. He is as tiny as you think he is. But, like, if you look at his face, like someone you see on TV and someone you see in real life, he is that larger-than-life presence, like the face. And, yeah, man, good human being. He's very much like you, like, in a sense that, like, you don't care, like, if someone's the number one player in the world. You don't care how much money they make. You don't care how many likes someone has on a social media account. You care how someone treats people and how someone treats you right then and there. So I'm taking you and I'm shrinking you about 10 inches shorter, put you on a diet, grow your hair into a ponytail. And he's the Evan Cory of the West Coast. He's a cool dude, man. He's mad respect for that guy. And listen, nobody's going to cheer against Zombie either, right? The real winners are the fans because they're going to come bring it. So, and I think next week we got a big one. We got Khabib and
Ooh, that'd be good.
and Justin
Gaethje.
Gaethje.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I am here to smash you. I'm right. Why you break bus? I'm here. Just send me text. Send me location. Why break bus? You could actually pass for Russian if you were in Brighton Beach. All you got to do is come and say absolutely nothing. They'll think you're Russian. Yeah, because Brighton Beach is predominantly Russian, and the most talented beach volleyball players, the Russian ones, live there. Indoor is just ridiculous.
I'm sure.
Ridiculous. Everyone that I set for played for a club that's won nationals like 5 of the last 7 years. You see a team that's stationed out of North Carolina, and it's a bunch of Dominicans. They're not from North Carolina. They're from fucking Washington Heights, man. They're from New York, okay? The program director, Ulysses, he lives in North Carolina, and his wife plays for the Dominican national team. But all of those dudes share their time. Mocha, Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, and Uptown New York. Uptown New York, North Carolina. Stop. At least when you say you're from Louisiana, people believe you.
Yeah.
So who wins between Khabib and Justin Gaethje?
Probably Khabib. I mean, I don't think I have to say anything else. Like, dude speaks for himself.
Yeah, he's just the professional murker. Do you like a swimming pool or ocean?
I mean, I have a pool. at my house or my grandma's house. So probably that. And we don't have a ton of ocean around here. So definitely been pool most of my life. But I loved whenever I was out in California after just a day.
It feels like baptism.
Yeah,
right?
like you like go like no matter what. So like even after that loss in the qualifier, like I had been out there for a month. At that point, I was out in Cali for a month, just like grinding, practicing. I was coaching at like the junior nationals and stuff like that. And so I mean, I was like pushing like 15, 16-hour days of being out in the sun, practicing, all kinds of stuff, just no break. And that was like my last like day there, and it's like, man, like I was so drained. And then I just went into the ocean, and it didn't matter. It's like everything just like revitalized.
Yeah, I love nationals in the summer in Hermosa Beach. I love those cats from 6'9" too, man. All of those guys, they're a little rowdy, but at the end of the day, we all go out drinking together. I forgot that guy, the beard. He has like a beard and white hair.
Oh yeah,
the dude's
I have no
straight
clue
up
what
hobo,
his is,
man.
I know who for sure who he is.
So I'm gonna tell you a story before we go. First time I met that guy, right? Some of my girls from Menlo Summers like, Coach, the net's high. So I'm like, all right, let me check it. And me as a coach, I have a chain in my bag, so I'm checking the net. I notice it's high, and I bring it down to the chain, and this dude comes up to me, white beard, looking like I don't know where the fuck he came from. He's like, "Why don't you mind your business, okay? It's not your place to do something like that." And I just went, and I said, "Dude." I said, I'm doing my thing. Do I mess with you when you're picking in them trash cans? No, I do my thing. You do yours. How about you mind your business? I went straight up New York, and the guy's like, I'm here all day. And I'm like, I'll be waiting. You here all day? And I said, why aren't you kissing everybody? All the parents are like, chill, this and that. Same night, though, we go drinking. And like, Roshitz is like, dude, that dude's all down for it. He's down for a scrap if you challenge him. I'm like, good. Roll up on me like that. So I mean, but me and him are chill now. But that was my very first encounter, and I didn't mean to embarrass him because everyone did crack up when I said that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, do I mess with you when you taking trash out of the trash can? No, this is what I do. That's what you do. Do your thing. I'm gonna do mine. So I was like, how about that? I went straight Brooklyn. I said, how about that? So, but man, he's my understanding is. His heart is as big as his head. He coaches with his heart in his sleeve. The kids love him. The club as a collective whole, the respect they have from him is profound. And for me, I don't know. I got a new summer drinking buddy. Anytime he comes back, man, I like the guy. Sometimes you got a war with someone that like him, right? It's probably your best friend you grew up with. You probably had to fight him first.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, Jay, that never happened. I'm cool.
Nah. A little bit.
All right, one more thing before we go. During this COVID time, I'm not going to ask you any social justice people. Have you saw the last 10 episodes? I had enough people. I mean, dude, first of all, 8 of my last 12 guests were African American, and I was looking for more African American to speak on this. And Fallon Fanoi Malawana, pretty much she broke her silence and just closed up shop. So what are you gonna say? Sorry.
I mean, I was gonna say like my best friend's African American. So like if I have people say stuff about it all the time, but it's like I don't think we can put ourselves in that shoes, especially like being in the South. There's a lot of division on it still.
Yep.
And I mean that's all I have to do is just say well, like how has Jay like felt in his life because of this, and like it changes your thought process a lot.
But that's the right way to go. If you want to know how a black man feels, how about you defer to having a conversation, right? You didn't get together with your white friends. All right, boys, this is what we're gonna do about this black problem. No, dude. My mom's African American. Okay, my real father is the only white guy in my family, and I never even met him. I don't even think I saw a white guy till I was 8 years old, where I grew up, Flatbush Avenue. But I'm also a white whisperer, I'm like a undercover brother, because a lot of people don't know I'm half black. So I could sit at the table in a conversation, and like people that don't know I'm black, if they're racist, I know right away. It's like, damn, did you see what happened in Portland? He said, now these black people get to think they get to think they could do whatever they want to do, and I'm just like,
oh,
I'm like, You don't say. No. You know? I mean, cops wouldn't arrest them unless they did something wrong. Silly me. You know? So I've been an undercover brother, really seeing, because they say, the old saying is you're your true self when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
And boy, have I got a bunch of stories for you off camera. For now, you have to be starving. You just came from coaching. And I'm sitting here eating chicken wings in front of you.
We're all good.
All right, cool.
I actually had some ribs right in between coaching and this.
So during COVID, I'm gonna give you a recommendation, but what's like on the rare occasion or the big the consistent occasion you watch TV? Is there a particular box set or a series that you broke yourself into to sweat out COVID?
I mean, I busted out some Disney Plus.
Okay. I did Schitt's Creek. You ever heard of Schitt's Creek?
I have heard of it. I haven't watched it. I'm not huge on like series. It's been hard for me. I love The Office, but had watched that before COVID. During COVID, I don't know if anybody, Boy Meets World.
Yes.
I busted that show.
You caught up on
as a kid. And so I just busted that show out because I just love that show so much. And then I'm big into documentaries. So maybe not so much like series, but I watch a ton of different documentaries. I love documentaries.
Me too. Well, my favorite series was The Wire. Baltimore Police Department drug dealers. So I was just going to give you a recommendation. It's got a little bit of everything. It's 5 seasons, and from the pilot on down, it just generates and magnetizes and galvanizes interest. So Band of Brothers, only because I'm biased. I'm infatuated with World War II. I'm a vet. I'm a Gulf War vet. And my grandfather, father's side, served in the Navy, World War II. My father, Air Force, Vietnam. My kid's sister, 2 tours in Afghanistan, the young sister. So I'm a military guy, but Band of Brothers is one, The Wire is the other. And Schitt's Creek, the format is set up like The Office. Mm-hmm. Like comedies that don't have a laugh track that allow you to intellectually tickle, stimulate your own intellect as opposed to stimulating this knee-jerk emotional thing. This is when you laugh. Yeah. So those are my recommendations to you, and those are my recommendations to everybody who's listening at home. All right, Evan, where can they find you, man? You got a site, or you got somewhere people could get to know Evan Cory better?
You can find me at Coconut Beach Coaching a ton.
What's the site? What's the website?
Coconut Beach LA. If you want to find our club, and you're in the Louisiana / Gulf Coast area, because we do have kids come in from Mississippi, all kinds of different stuff like that. Or if you're just passing through, want some lessons, whatever, go to premierbeachvolleyball.com, and that will lead you to our website. And then if you want to find me personally, I'm probably actually about to start doing some clinics, hopefully around the country. I've had some talks recently, and I'm open to that if anybody is interested. And you can just hit me up on Facebook, Evan Cory, and then on Instagram at Evan Cory Volley.
No doubt. Cool, man. Hey, that's all I got. Evan Cory might love you guys, but me, I had enough of you. In fact, I can't stand you. For all of you at home, for all of you watching this on your iPad, for all of you watching this on your iPhone, for all of you watching this on your desktop, who runs the world? Old school, old school. For Evan, the Beast Cory, this is episode 59 of the Option Podcast, and I'm Jason DeBeas, and we both say, we're out. Come check out the Option Podcast on optionvb.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify, and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.